Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. We got a special guest, Chimmy the Realtor.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be on today.
Appreciate you coming out, man. Very excited for this conversation, and thank you to the man in the background today for setting this up, Mr. Filmit Nate. Appreciate you, gang. But Chimmy, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm good. I actually just came from a closing. Yeah.
I should have had some champagne or something, man. Pop a bottle. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was good.
Yeah, in GTA?
Yeah, we were just by the Etobicoke. So they have new condos up there by the Kingsway. Yeah, so I just came from that. Yeah, it's nice condos. They're nice.
Etobicoke's a huge market right now, too.
It's
a great place to be.
It is. They're nice. They're pretty expensive, actually. Yeah, Etobicoke is very pricey because there's so much land out there. I think each house you get a big plot of land because they've been there for a while.
100%, and it's so close to the city. There's a lot going on just there too. It's a good location.
Yeah, you're not too far from the highway either, which is great.
100%. So you mentioned this is your first podcast. I'd love to hear a little bit about your kind of origin story, how you even got into real estate in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I went to school for business management. I went to Ryerson. I think Toronto Metropolitan now.
I know what you mean.
I went there for business management, and then after that, I did a little bit of project management after I graduated from school. I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to go in, so I felt like that was a safe route. But during that time, I realized that I don't really like it, and I wanted to do real estate. So during that whole year-ish, I was studying for my real estate license.
Okay.
Yeah, and I took that time to really understand the material, and you can easily pass through the real estate course in like 6 months, but I took like a little bit over a year just because I really wanted to understand everything properly,
100%.
Yeah.
So what about the project management wasn't like something that you enjoyed too much?
I like people managing and project management, but I felt like I grew out of the position really fast.
Okay.
And during that year, because I was already studying for my real estate license, I kind of already had that in my mind that I wanted to do real estate, and all the skills I learned from that role I could apply to my real estate career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That was something I was going to ask you too. Like, you always enjoyed the people aspect, because I know real estate is...
It's all people. Yeah. I like it. I do. I feel like I really like talking to people, and I really like just like naturally having a conversation with them and learning more about them. I think I'm a great listener. I always like to hear people's stories. So like because of real estate, essentially I get to see new people every day and talk to new people, which is nice.
I always felt that way. Like, if you're not a people person, I don't know if real estate would be for you. Like,
yeah, I think it would be a lot harder.
Yeah, I think so,
I think it would be a lot harder for sure.
100%. So when you got your license, how'd you get into the game officially? Like, you started on your own?
Yeah, I did. Real estate is quite hard, and I feel like those people you see that do like $1 million deals in their first year, they're like outliers. Like, you don't see that. There's 70,000 realtors in Toronto. Like, not even excited. There's so many realtors in Toronto. It's very, very competitive. I started on my own. I was lucky when I started. My grandma actually moved out of her place and into my family's place. So she was selling her condo. So that gave me a little head start. And then from there, I was really grateful to get a lot of referrals. A lot of my friends would refer me, or people I know would refer. And like that kind of was how I got started.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to your grandma. For
sure, yeah. Family. You gotta go to your family.
For sure, man. But you touch on a good point. Like, if you're starting off and you don't have any real contacts in the real estate game, you're just starting scratch and claw, right?
It's hard, yeah. People do. That's why people are so aggressive on cold calls. I personally don't like cold calling. I like talking to my database, and because I feel like I want to work with people that want to work with me at the end of the day. So I feel like if I get a referral, there's that already level of trust, and they want to work with me, instead of cold calling and harassing people. I don't really like that.
I feel you on that. I come from a sales background too, and I relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, you could be that aggressive salesperson, but that's probably, if they buy from you, it's once.
Yeah, exactly. Then they're like, oh, never again.
Exactly.
And it's not a great experience the whole time anyways.
It's not a great experience because, we're customers in other fields, right? If someone's like that with us, it's kind of an ugly feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to bring that out. That's real, though. What is that, you think, where your friends and the people in your database really trust you?
I think so. And each time, like, it's such a nice feeling every single time. And I thought it would fade away, like, after a couple referrals, but every single time I get a referral, like, it's such an honor. And, like, I feel so, like, grateful and I feel so blessed, you know, to get that referral. 'Cause I'm like, that means they trust me. The person that like potentially want to work with me like has already a level of trust to go and talk to me.
It's so important, man, because I think today there's, like you mentioned, on how many people are in real estate in general. Like, it is dog eat dog. So to find someone who feels like they genuinely care.
Yeah. I think it's really important. And I think especially now, doing so many transactions, it's really important to work with a good realtor, because I've seen a lot of not so great realtors, and then like they like don't not care about you. They care about their paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's a not great realtor?
I've had people that would like stop talking to them because like they don't meet the qualifications. Instead of like helping them like find solutions and being like problem solvers, they'll just like ditch them. And that's not really good. Like, that's not fair. I have people that don't communicate with you until the last minute. This one realtor I was working with was in India the whole time, and then he had no idea what's going on. His admin quit on him. Like, I had to drop off the checks myself, like the posted checks myself, like everything. I coordinated basically both ends of the deal myself, and it was crazy.
That is crazy. You just put me onto something, because I knew about this, but I didn't think about it. Like, anytime you're making a sale, you're working with your client and the other real estate agent. Yeah. That is interesting.
And then sometimes, like, you see it a lot where one side is, like, carrying the brunt of the work because the other side is, like, not focusing or, like, doing whatever, doesn't want to drive so far, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Is that more of a challenge, like working with the other real estate agent than your client?
Yeah, sometimes your clients are like amazing, especially if you're teaching them properly, you're educating them, and you're showing them, you know, like leading them and guiding them properly. Right. Sometimes it really is the other side that's really difficult. Yeah.
That makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, because I'm sure you don't know those guys too well, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You probably know your client pretty well. I don't know.
And I feel like realtors, not everyone, this is a generalization, but realtors, they have this mentality where like they think they're so amazing and like nothing can like they're undefeatable, and because of that, like they just don't care sometimes, and like they're just like I don't know where their head's at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You hear about that in like a lot of different fields. It makes sense in real estate too. Like that ego could go kind of crazy.
I think so, yeah.
Everyone's watching Selling Sunset and think
they're they think it's that easy.
Yeah, real shit. Does that have an impact? Like, do you have clients that are be like, oh, is it like Selling Sunset?
Yes, yeah? A lot. A lot of people think it's like Selling Sunset, and like in a way it is, because like it's so cool to get to go and see all these beautiful homes and not so beautiful homes. But yeah, it's so cool to get to see all these places, but the TV show makes it a lot easier than it is. Like, people don't see like the days and days of negotiating, like the rejection sometimes, right? Like, you put in an offer and like your clients are in love with it, but you get rejected. They don't see like so many aspects of it.
That's very real, and the rejection's a huge part of sales.
Yeah.
Getting into real estate, did you kind of know that would happen? Like, all right, I'm gonna be told no quite a bit, but I gotta stay strong.
I did, but I feel like nothing really teaches you until you really experience it. And then the first couple times it really hit me. I'm like, oh man, like I was so disappointed, and like it got to me so much. And then now I learned, I'm like, okay, like, you know, like there's always another place. Like, we'll find something. Like, my job is to help them find something way better, and I know I will do it. Like, if we miss out on that opportunity for whatever reason, like it's their loss. Yeah, I know that I have great clients, you know.
That's a good mentality, man. It'll come back around.
Yeah, for sure.
Meant to be.
Yeah, we'll find a different place that probably, maybe you even dodged a bullet. Maybe we'll find something even better, you know.
100%. Yeah. Have you had that happen where the house turned out to be kind of fucked up and client was like,
Yeah, we actually did. So like it wasn't a house, but it was like a condo. They're tenants, so they're looking to move into a condo. Originally, they were gonna settle and go for another place, but we got rejected from that, and then we kept looking, and then she found something so much better and so much more in the area she wanted. Like, she actually moved just down the street from her old building. Nice. And that was perfect for her, because she's like, she doesn't drive, she doesn't want to go far. Yeah, so that was like a win-win for us.
Love that. Are you currently on your own with the real estate, or you have a team?
No, so I was on my own, but not recently anymore, like 6+ months, I joined a team. So I'm with the Elm team now. So our brokerage is with Keller Williams, and then under that you can do like teams. Okay,
nice. Yeah. How have you seen the change from going on your own to working with a team?
I like it. I've learned so much working out with a team. You learn like a different pace. You learn a lot more, and I get to like go on their deals, and I help them and like assist them, and like I just learned. They've been in the business for a very long time. So there's 3 of us, 4 including me. her mom, it's a family. Her mom has been in the real estate game for 27 years. Her and her husband around 11 and 13. So there's a lot of experience, and it gives me the opportunity to learn from them.
That's a really good mentality. Experience in any field is just so valuable.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You can't teach that, like you said. It's
yeah, some days you just gotta, you gotta be in the field to know it.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought being a real estate agent looked cool because you're running around, going to different places. Tell me, is that the reality?
It is. Some days I'm literally in Hamilton in the morning, then I'm driving back to Brampton, then I'm stopping in Toronto to pick up something, then like I'm going back to the office. Some days it is like that. Some days I'm like cooped up in my house doing paperwork. Yeah. But some days I'm like really driving all day.
And you got the for sale signs in the trunk?
I literally do. For sale signs, open house signs, everything's in the car. It's ready to go.
I love that, man. I love to see someone just hustling. Like,
yeah.
You know, and a good real estate agent to me should be a hustler. And
I think so too. Yeah. I feel like it's, people think it's easy to make that money, and people get into it. I think that's why a lot of people get into it, not realizing that it's hard work. Yeah.
100%. Because you're dealing with people that are gonna spend a lot of money. I'm sure that they're nervous. I'm sure that they're, you know.
Yeah, of course. Imagine this is probably like someone's biggest purchase of their whole life. Yeah.
100%. What's the main challenge you have with, let's say, first-time buyers or first-time renters? Because kind of building on that, first time spending this kind of money, what's usually like the biggest challenge with those types of clients?
Okay, so two things. For first-time buyers, I think it's important to educate them that like, even though like we found a house that we like, they can like it, but they can't fall in love with it yet. Don't fall in love with it until we get a firm accepted offer. Because, you know, like, so many things could go wrong. You know, we can get rejected. Like, maybe financing doesn't go through. Right. Or we do a home inspection and you find out that, oh my gosh, there's so many things wrong with the house, right? And, like, maybe it's not the best financial choice to buy this house. So many things that go on that side. So it's better to fall in love with it afterwards. Yeah. But it's hard, you know, because you see your house and you envision yourself living there and having a family maybe, or whatever you do with the home. You see yourself in there.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to manage those expectations, stay in the moment there.
Yeah. And then for first-time renters, oh man, okay. So I think, in my opinion, the rental market shifted. It's very, very different from a couple years ago, and very, very different from like other provinces. The landlords are so picky because to kick someone out now, you need eviction notice, and that takes 8 to 10 months now. Maybe even going on a year, because you gotta do it through the board.
Right.
Yeah, and then so like landlords are so hesitant to let anyone in their home, and then on the other side, like tenants, like they don't realize that you need to provide. They're like, why do I need to provide all of this? Like, why do they need my bank statements? Like, why are they asking for so many pay stubs? Like, why don't they trust me? You know? Right. Yeah. So it's a hard balance between that.
Yeah, like there's the people side, but there is the paperwork. There's the realities.
There's a reality, and there's like, okay, like how do you look on paper, you know, and how do we present you as best as possible?
Right.
Yeah.
So for someone watching this that, you know, is thinking about, let's say, renting for the first time, what do they need?
Oh, okay. So for first-time renters, like the bare minimum would be your ID, your full credit report. The soft check is okay, but full credit report, 3 most recent pay stubs, an employment letter. Those are basically it. And like that's like, oh, and also like a rental application form where you fill out your past and current landlord, your work history, etc., stuff like that. A little bit more personal information. That's like the bare minimum. Okay. And then some people even go in and ask for bank statements to see like what your spending habits are and stuff like that.
That's good to know, because how would you know if you don't do it, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, fuck, I want to rent a place, buy a place. How?
Yeah, for sure. And you're like, okay, now what?
Exactly. Now what? Toronto real estate market, one of the wildest, and I'd probably say North America. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty crazy.
What year did you get into the market?
Oh man, okay. I don't remember I think it was 2022. I think. Okay. I've been in it a little bit over a year now.
Okay, so after COVID.
Yeah. Like, I was riding on, like, the end of COVID.
Got you. So what's the experience been in terms of, like, prices for you, in terms of, like, has it been just fucking nuts like I hear it is?
It was. So during COVID, I was following along with, like, what's happening in the real estate market. Like, things were going, like, 100,000 over asking rate, which is crazy. Or, like, whatever over asking. Now we're seeing a change where, because of the interest rates, like, I think it's really starting to affect people. it's a lot slower. Homes are sitting on the market a lot longer than before. Sellers were spoiled then, and they're like, okay, like we'll sell it in a week or two.
Right.
Now you're seeing the stuff sit for like 30 plus days. Maybe you're like if you're desperate to sell, you might not get the price you want anymore. I think the prices are slowly coming down, in my opinion. What else have I noticed? Yeah, just things are like sitting along well. Buyers have a great opportunity because like, especially if they're first-time home buyers where you don't need to sell something before you buy, like this is your chance because you can go in and negotiate. Finally, you can negotiate a home inspection where you couldn't do that 2 years ago because they'll just throw your offer out. They're like, why would I take that when I can have like a full thing in cash?
100%.
Yeah.
It's just such an interesting thing to see where it's like, man, a house that's like a small ass place is selling for like $1 million.
Yeah.
Especially like in the prime location. It's just
For
so
sure.
wild. Like, who has that money?
I know. You go in and you see, you're like, okay, like it's not renovated. It's kind of small. There's not really a good parking spot, and it's $1 million. Yeah.
It is.
But it's
trippy.
location's everything.
What's the hot locations right now?
Depends on what your life priorities are.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say what's a really popular and growing area. If you're looking for condos, but like not really downtown, I feel in North York area, they're building a lot of condos there, but like there's a lot of stuff to accommodate all the people moving in, which is good. Another hot area would be, I think, Mississauga, in my opinion. Mississauga is a good balance of Toronto and suburb.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not too far, but it's far enough.
Yeah, exactly. And you get a good mix. You're still getting like all your amenities and everything.
Right. Still pretty major city.
Yeah.
So you touched on this already, how there's so many real estate agents. That means there's a shitload of competition.
Yeah, so many.
Is there real estate agent politics?
Oh my gosh, there is. Thankfully, my brokerage is very nice and we don't foster that environment at all. Everyone's really, really supportive, and like you can go and ask them basically like, okay, like what's like, how you doing this, like whatever, like ask them for information, ask them for help, and they're so willing to help. And I feel like you don't get that everywhere. You don't get that at every brokerage. Some brokerages, like, they won't talk to you.
Right.
Because, like, and at the end of the day, like, that's your competition, right? Like, you can be in the same brokerage, but, like, yeah, you guys are all competing. You guys all, like, need the clients.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you someone that kind of stays away from that mentality of competition where you just keep to yourself, you do your thing? Is that more your style?
Yes, definitely. I think because of that environment, it really grew on me, and I like that brokerage, and I've been there for my whole real estate career, actually. So, and I don't really plan on leaving because I don't think there's a need to be competitive like that, you know? Like, if you're really good at what you do, then, like, it'll show in your work. Yeah. I
agree with you. That's a great answer. That's what I was hoping to hear, because I believe that too.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Who cares what the competition is if you're doing your thing, right?
I feel like before, when I was really first starting, it did intimidate me a little bit, and then now, like, getting so much more experience, I'm like why would it I'm not letting that intimidate me, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That experience word again.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going with this in terms of your career? Like, you want to expand into maybe commercial, more residential? What do you think?
I don't see myself doing commercial. I think it's a little bit more boring.
Okay.
Well, I like residential because it's kind of more face to face. It's a very emotional process, and I'm here for it. You know. How I see myself in a couple years, I would like to build a team because I like to teach people and I like to guide people. I would love to have other agents work on a team with me. Maybe even newer agents that were in the same position that I was when I started. I would love to guide them and, you know, teach them and like really show them that real estate, like, it's a really great career and there's so many opportunities once you get into it.
I could definitely see you having a team with you. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I would love that. I can't wait.
Do you help like with mortgage brokering and stuff like that as well?
I don't do it myself because I feel like there's some agents that do both. They're a mortgage broker and they're a real estate agent. Right. And I feel like you're not doing yourself justice. You're not doing your client justice because, you know, you want to be good at one thing. You want to stick to it and like do the best in one thing, right? I don't do the mortgage side. I have a couple people that are couple mortgage agents that are really great, and I usually refer them to them.
I love that. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing with buying a place. Like, what the hell's a mortgage?
I know.
How do I get a mortgage? Like, what the fuck is that? So to have people from your real estate agent that you can trust in a referral, I think super valuable.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, like they're good because like these are people like you work with and like you know they do a good job for your clients, so that's why you continue working with them.
100%.
Yeah.
Something I saw, I checked your IG before the interview. You do a really good job with the social media promotion in your work. You feel that that's something that's just crucial to stay ahead of the curve?
It is. As social media is very hard. Like I give it to, like you gotta give it to these content creators. It's really really hard to stay consistent on social media. I try to be as active as I can. I think it is important now with now like so many people are on social media. A lot of my clients actually like reach out to me via social media. So I think it is important to stay as hard as it is, like it is important to stay relevant.
100%. Cause yeah, you're right. It is kind of its own full-time job. Just social media side, but it's so busy now. I think you have to.
Yeah, for sure. And like everyone's on social media, so like that's where they're seeing.
100%. Do you enjoy it?
I like social media. I think it's not really. Eventually, my goal would be to hire someone that is like good at that, and like I would love for them to help me with that, because I feel like it takes a lot of my time, and I want to put my time towards like stuff that like I'm truly good at. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, man. I think you're doing the right thing of learn how to do it, and then one day not have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I would let have a guideline and then be like, okay, can you follow this? Or if you have any better ideas, like please take over.
100%. Yeah. I like that a lot. So just interviewed Mr. Nate a couple weeks ago. You deep in the creative world, very talented director. Shout out Film and Nate again. Power couple here. You experience his world quite a bit as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's really cool. It's very different from mine, but very, very interesting.
We mentioned kind of transferable skills. Do you see any transferable skills with the work that he does with the work you do?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like client-wise, like taking on deals and how to handle deals, how to handle clients, we always bounce ideas off each other and see like from a different perspective. You know, he handles things a little bit differently than I do, and then it's nice to have someone that you be like, okay, this is the situation, like how would you approach it? Yeah. That's
so funny because it is true. Like watching direct a film or dealing with a house that you're trying to sell, you're working with people at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. It's all people. Like I think being able to deal with people and know how to handle it is a really important skill. Yeah.
It is. You feel like you've grown with that skill?
I think I have, yeah, for sure. I think it really started when I finished school and I worked in project management. Because, oh man, project management is crazy. Like, you really deal with every single detail. And sometimes, like, it drives you crazy. You're like, why isn't this done? Like, what the heck?
Right.
Yeah, so I really learned a lot from there.
Project management's interesting, too, because if the job gets done properly, that's just how it was supposed to go. If something goes wrong, you're a fucking idiot. Like, it's like there's very little, you know?
Yeah, but trust me, it never goes smoothly. There's always something. Oh my gosh, always something.
Like what? What are some common things?
So where I work, we did custom fabrication. So we built pretty much anything, like customized, right? Bigger projects we did were projects that we did TV sets, but in the States. So imagine trying to coordinate samples going back and forth. And each time you're paying like $100 to get it past the border. And they're like this big. They're so small. And try to coordinate that. And they're like, no, we don't like it. So you got to ship them another one. And then dealing with transportation, we're dealing with big, like huge trucks and like people packing the truck and having everything ready, making sure everything's ready in time. And like people are sometimes they got to go on set and finish over there because like you know, it's too much over here. Like they didn't finish in time. But you have to get the product into the States by a certain time. Yeah,
it is such like a kind of a thankless job a little bit. Like, yo, the job has to get done no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. And it's like, and you being the project manager, like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like, it's you. It's on you.
It's on you. Exactly. But I feel like that probably taught you a lot of good lessons with what you're doing now.
It is, yeah, because I kind of apply the same concepts. Be like, okay, this is the deal. Like, the deal has to get done at the end of the day. Like, let's find the best solutions for it.
Absolutely. And you tell me if I'm wrong, but I always felt patience is a huge part of real estate too, right?
Oh, yeah. Patience with your clients, because, you know, like, they're, especially the first-time home buyers or, like, they had bad experience in the past, like, they're going to be very hesitant. And then also patience with the people on the other side. Like, sometimes, like, because a lot of agents, they work part-time actually, right?
Right.
So, like, during the whole day, they're not responding to you. And, like, you're trying to get a deal done, and they're, like, ghost. Right, and or like the vice versa, like stuff like that. A lot of patience is needed.
I could imagine that, because also too, like, you're talking to someone that's looking to buy a house, it is a big decision. Like you should
Yeah,
be
it's huge.
patient with that as
Yeah.
a, you know. So I think that's relatable as a sales rep. Really important. Though with the sales side of things, is that something that you see like going further into in terms of like bigger listings, stuff like that, like kind of on that Selling Sunset style?
Like like luxury Toronto.
Yeah.
I would love that, and I think eventually, yeah, I don't see why not. I love like all these. I really appreciate a good like design in a house, and especially if it's well designed, like well taken care of. Like it really speaks to me. I think it's so beautiful because like you spend so much of your time in your house, right?
100%.
And you wanna love it.
100%. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna live. I need it to be. I like it.
Yeah,
know,
you
at the
can't
very
hate it,
least.
like, because then you're gonna go home and like be miserable every day. Yeah.
That's actually good advice, man, because I've seen it from the outside, like, especially in the Toronto real estate market where people are just, like, so hell-bent on getting into the market.
Oh, yeah.
They buy something they don't even really like.
Yeah, I feel like during COVID, it was like that because interest rates were, like, almost nothing. People were like, oh, my God, like, I have to buy. And they're paying so much money. There might be even overpaying, you know, because now you're seeing prices come down. Yeah, and they're like, it's okay, but, like I'll live with it. Yeah, you see a lot of people kind of like settle in a way.
Yeah, and I get that, but when it's so much money involved, like 20 years ago, I think settling, okay, I get it, because the price is so good.
Yeah.
But now it's like, fuck, man, settling, plus that's a lot of money.
Right?
Into it.
Plus like $800,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that's an expensive settle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is more of a, I guess, mortgage question, but I'm sure you're very much like tapped into it. The rates are extremely high right now.
Yeah.
Has that changed how you mentioned it's taking longer to sell houses. Are you getting as many calls to buy as you were?
I think it's tough because a lot of people now suddenly they don't qualify anymore and they're like, okay, shoot, I can't buy, even though the house prices are like slowly like coming down slightly. They're like, okay, I don't qualify anymore, like the bank won't give me a mortgage.
Right.
Like I'm kind of stuck too, you know. So it's like it's a very sticky situation.
Rates are what, like 6% ish?
Yeah, I believe prime rate is 7.2. Yeah.
A lot of money, man.
It is. It's very expensive. Like I had people I talked to, like they said their mortgage went up like $2,500 per month. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's like some people's whole salary per month, you know.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Even with two people, that's kind of crazy. My neighbor, his mortgage renewal is coming up, and he got like 2% for COVID or something.
Oh, okay.
Now
he's in a big yeah. He's gonna be
like, yo, it's gonna be triple.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a big shock. What he can do is like he can change the amortization rate, and then your payments will be smaller each month. Right. But it just means that it takes you longer to pay it off. Yeah, I guess each situation is different. So
100%.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest misconception you hear about real estate would be?
That they think it's easy. It's really, really, really hard. And it's so fulfilling though. Like don't get me wrong, it's so fulfilling, but it takes like a lot of hard work in my opinion. Yeah. What's
the hardest part of your job, and what's your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part would definitely be like because I get to help people. Like that's like my number one. Like I love helping people find their place and like knowing that like, you know, they love it, they're happy moving into it. That's my favorite thing for sure. The hardest part would be there's a couple things, but I want to say like one thing would be like sometimes like they can't afford it and you have to be realistic with them. Yeah, giving them like the honest answer, you know, because like I would hate to have a client that'd be like I'll be like yeah you can afford it, and then like some like you know they're overpaying and like they're kind of stuck and they have to sell the house and they have nowhere to go. Like I think that's a terrible situation. I would never I would advise them to be, you know, like conservative. I think.
And I think that's where that trust comes from too, right? Because you're being honest with them. Maybe they're not ready now, but a couple of years they're still going to hit you up because they still had a good experience. And
I'd rather wait a couple of years and then wait for them to be ready than push them into buying now.
100%. No, I like that, man. I think that's a good strategy. I think that's like a relatable. You got to feel comfortable with who you're working with, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of like pushy people out there, so...
Like that you see what you don't like, so you stay away from it.
Yeah, for sure. That's not on my list to be. I'm like, you know, I take note and I'm like, okay, like I guess I kind of make a mental note of like stuff that I don't want to do and like, I would never have like my team, like, you know, I feel like just I guess our our beliefs, like that's not who we are.
100%. What's a market that you see kind of growing that maybe people don't know enough about?
Okay, so funny enough, recently I was at an event. I was talking to a couple of investors. They were in Saskatchewan, and they thought that it's a big market out there because it's like cheaper. The landlord tenant board is a lot better than here right now because it only takes like really a month if you have any issues and you need an eviction. We're here, it's like 8 to 10 months, right?
Yeah.
Out there is only a month, so it's a lot easier if you need anyone out. It's a lot cheaper. It is further though, but yeah, like I feel like people are just people, right? Like you really just have to like vet your tenants and really get to know them and like trust them.
That's interesting you say Saskatchewan because it makes sense, man. Like
yeah, Saskatchewan, Alberta, even like north of Ontario, you're seeing that a lot. People are getting places in Brantford, Cornwall, like all those like low, like way further out because then you can get bigger places for like way cheaper.
Absolutely. It's kind of like you're kind of forced to do that at a point, right? If
Yeah.
you want to buy something, it's like okay.
Yeah, even like a couple years ago, people were like flooding to Pickering, and now Pickering's really expensive.
Yeah, exactly. All the hidden spots are not hidden anymore.
Yeah, and then, but really, like Pickering, like felt so far away, and now so I'm like, oh, it's not that far.
Yeah. That's a great point. Like an hour is nothing now.
It takes me an hour to get from one side of Toronto to the other side.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Busy ass day could take even longer.
I know, with all this traffic. Oh my gosh, the 401 is terrible. I always dread going on it.
100%, man. That's the 401. You're like risking your life every time. You're either dead stuck in traffic or you're like changing lanes. And, it's.
I know you're avoiding all these other terrible drivers.
Yeah, the 401 is like human Mario Kart or something. Like,
yeah, thank God my office is in Vaughan. So from where I live, I'm just taking the 400 straight up.
Perfect.
Thank God, yeah.
Vaughan's dope. I like Vaughan. There's a lot of space.
I like Vaughan too. Vaughan is very nice. I feel like there's, I don't know, apparently like their education systems are very good. They're bored. A lot of people go to Vaughan because of their schooling.
True. And it's pretty central as well. Like you can get downtown from Vaughan easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Get to Mississauga from Vaughan easily. It's pretty good.
And one thing I really like, I don't know if this is like everywhere in Vaughan, but the way they like structured their roads, I feel like they made their public transit a lot better because they have like dedicated lanes for public transit. Right. Yeah, which I think is great because like a lot of people take public transit and like you see here like people are like there's like 20 people waiting at a bus stop and it's crazy.
100%. I think that's coming to Mississauga, which I'm sure would help with housing and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Dope. What are some things that kill like a market, like in terms of if a house is nice but like it's in a shit neighborhood?
That's tough.
What are some things like that where it's like or some opposite, like what can really help sell a house?
I think, okay, so it's so sad to say this, but you're seeing it a lot. There's a lot of gentrification in neighborhoods, like neighborhoods that might not have the best reputation. Like people are being like pushed out and then they're building all these like fancy condos and townhouses and they're pricing it so expensive. I guess they're fixing up the area. They're building all these parks and community centers and making it look really nice. So they're able to sell it at such a higher price. It's kind of sad because like obviously people lived there before that too. Yeah. And they're getting pushed out to who knows where.
That's a really good point. Like I've always felt really weird about it because it's like, okay, it's nice buildings, it's nice upgrades, but yeah, like a lot of people that grew up there are never gonna be able to afford this. And also, I feel like it kind of takes away from the character of the city that it's in.
Yeah.
I went to school. I don't know if you're familiar with like South Etobicoke, Lakeshore area.
Yeah.
I went to school around there, and like it was always blue collar. Little grimy, but I always liked it. There was character. Now I go there, still got that, but it's changed.
Yeah.
There's like more fucking like Subway sandwich shops.
Yeah.
And like man, it's like everywhere else. You know?
I feel like one of the biggest factors is if they make it more accessible, like people are gonna flock to it, and like if more people flock to it, like they're able to sell more at a higher price.
That makes perfect sense to me. Like, if I would be looking at a place near a highway would be ideal.
Highway, GO stations. That's why, like, the LRT by Eglinton.
Yeah,
like, houses there were, like, my aunt bought a house there for, like, years ago for super cheap, and she sold it for so much money.
Lit.
Yeah, and now the LRT's not even done.
Yo, I don't think it'll ever be done, man. That's a Toronto myth.
It was, they started building when I was in high school. I've been out of high school for so long.
No, real shit. At least 10 years.
Yeah, because I went to high school right there, so like they literally built in that area, and we're like, oh my gosh, like this is ridiculous, and there's still construction going on.
Yeah, I think they're just fucking with us now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's just go as long as we can.
Did you hear what the guy said? I think he is like the CEO or some guy. I don't know what he is, but like maybe he's on the board or something. He went on and basically said he doesn't know when they're gonna be done. There's problems every week. New problems keep coming up every week.
I kind of rate that actually, where he's just like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, he's
it's
like,
not done. It's not gonna be done.
Yeah,
I love that. That makes sense though. Those are the things where you see a beautiful place or something, but you got to think about what's around it too, right? You got to live somewhere where there's places to go.
Yeah.
Some of those like up north places make me mad nervous because there's nothing around there. It's like, I don't know.
I know what you mean. I don't know, but it's kind of nice depending on, I guess, where you are in your life. So you might like it because you're away from the city. Like if you don't need to be going to work every day,
True.
you might like it. It's a change of pace. I would probably go. I would get a farm and get a horse and then go there and visit it on the weekends. Like that would be ideal because being in the city is like it's a lot sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
I do think there's probably an expiration date on being in the city where it's like it's sick, but can't do that forever. Maybe you can actually, but
I don't know. Maybe eventually, because when I was younger, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna live downtown. Like, it's great. Like I love downtown. And now I'm like, ugh, downtown.
100%. I get it. You got to be in the mood.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Some days you're not, but if you live down there, you better be. Where would you want to live ideally? Like not necessarily city, but like a style of.
Oh, okay, for sure. I would like to even stay in Toronto. My ideal place would be like North York. Okay. I even have an ideal house actually, but I'm not gonna say on the podcast. But yeah, ideally I like the North York area, like West North York. So like by Yonge and Sheppard, I like that. There's so much food there. Ideally, and I like that area. It's not too hard to get to the subway. It's close to my family, and it's still in Toronto.
Yes, North York is a great. I've always enjoyed it there too. That's like to me a true Toronto like spot.
Yeah, it's nice, and you still get like that diversity. It's a good spot.
Yeah, there's all those Korean restaurants over there.
Yeah, so
a lot of good spots. Even like karaoke spots and shit.
Yeah.
Definitely an underrated part of the city. Love that. Are you a homeowner?
I am not yet.
Is that a goal?
That is definitely a goal. I would want to buy something in the next couple of years, ideally, and then I don't know. I'm still thinking maybe before that I would get like an investment property, depending. It would have to be further out though because it'll be a lot cheaper. But yeah, maybe.
I have one in Windsor.
Oh,
it's a
nice.
completely different market out there.
I've heard. Yeah. Do you buy it a couple years ago? Or do you buy it recently?
Recently in June.
Oh, nice. Okay, congrats. That's really cool.
I appreciate that, but it just tripped me out how like I was a little bit turned off about how it is here, just how much money it is. You go like Windsor's far, but 3 hours, not that far. Completely different market.
Yeah, and you're by the by the border too, which is nice. It's a plus for a lot of people.
I think so.
Yeah,
it could come in handy. Do you think you'd go somewhere out there?
Maybe I would have to I guess it's hard for me because I'm so I feel like to be a good realtor you need to know your market very well.
Right.
I would have to go and I guess experience that market. It's hard for realtors to pick up their lives and go and learn a whole different market.
That's a great point. I never really thought of that, but that makes super sense.
I know. I didn't think of it before I got into the industry either.
We're learning
and I'm
together.
oh no, where am I gonna go? I don't want to move anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's super true because the neighborhood is kind of your ballpark.
Yeah,
I gotta know this.
Yeah, for sure. You can't go somewhere and they'd be like, "Oh, what about that house?" And you know nothing about it.
Yeah, 100%. So if a client reaches out to you from a referral and they say, "Chimmy, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not ready to buy, but I just kind of want to pick your brain," are you open to that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love talking to people about real estate, especially if I feel like that's already them making the first step, and that's so amazing to me because some people don't even get there.
Right.
They're like, yeah, I want to buy a home, but I'm not gonna put any effort into doing it. Even if you're not ready, it's really good. What I suggest to people do is I'll talk to them and I'll be like, oh, can I set you up with just talking to a mortgage agent because you'll know where you sit. How ready you are, how much you need to save even to get to your goal, what your plans are, and it's kind of it might give them a reality shock, but in a good way, because then you can actually set yourself up now. You can say, oh yeah, I want to buy something, but never know how to get there.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I guess sometimes it's a fear, oh, what if I'm not
Yeah,
ready.
I think
But
so.
you're right. Like, it's
Yeah.
if I'm not ready, let me know.
Yeah, yeah. I think a big realization for me was like me having that conversation with a mortgage agent myself and seeing how ready I am and how much more I need to plan. Because after that, I'm like, I was avoiding it for a bit too. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to hear like I'm not ready yet or whatever. Like it's tough to hear that when you really want to buy something, right? But after having the talk, I felt so much better because I'm like, I felt so much more set up and ready.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I have this plan now. Like, I know what to do. I know what my next steps are. Even if it's not buying right away, I know how much I need to save and like what I need to do. Maybe like credit, etc., pay off debt, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah, it's becoming a little more real. Yeah, absolutely right. I felt that way too. That's kind of why I went to the Windsor market because I was told that exact same thing here. Like, it's not gonna happen. Okay, fair enough, man.
Yeah,
what
for
else
sure.
is out there?
Windsor is really great. There's a realtor that Nathan knows as well. Actually, they picked up their whole lives and moved out to Windsor and like started their own brokerage out there, which is really amazing to me. You can get a lot more for your money out there. I know that for sure.
Yes, yeah. It's so interesting how it's still Ontario, but just completely different.
Very different. Yeah.
Very different. So, we're about 40 minutes in. I've really enjoyed learning about the real estate market, learning about your career, but I'd love to learn a little bit more. What's Chimmy as a person right now? What is your outside of work interest?
Outside of work, okay. I recently gotten, so I'm very big on like always like learning new things.
Yep.
I like snowboarding. Snowboarding is like my go-to in the wintertime. And then I didn't have any go-tos for the summertime, so I took up golfing.
Okay.
Yeah, I took up golfing. It's really hard, like really, really hard. It's very technical.
Yes.
Yeah, like one like wrong slight movement and the ball's not going anywhere.
Very awkward game.
Yeah.
You hit the ball perfectly one time, and the next time you can't even hit it.
Yeah, for like 10 straight, you can't even get it. You're not even hitting the ball. But that's been really fun. Like I like that I don't have to run. So I think that's like the biggest reason why I like it. I learned how to swim over the summer.
Amazing, good for you.
And then that was great because I feel like I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I ever go on vacation, like I can't enjoy myself. So that was like something that really pushed me to do, and it was great. Like that was like one of the best decisions I made, I think. Yeah, I felt like I never realized how nervous I was in the water until I started doing the lessons, and now I'm like, wow, I'm so much more comfortable.
Yo, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Everyone that I know that says they don't know how to swim, they just like never learned.
I know, and I was like, oh my god, that can't be me. Like, I can't do this for like 20-something years already. I don't know how to swim.
Yo, good for
I'm like,
you,
I can't do it for another 20-something years.
Yeah, you changed the cycle. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Good for you, man. That's a great thing to, and I liked your motivation too. Like, I gotta go on vacation. I gotta go enjoy this shit, you know?
Right. He's from the islands. I'm like, oh my god, if I ever go there, which we are going in February actually.
Sick.
Yeah. So I'm like, I need to learn how to swim before we go.
Yeah, if you can't swim at the islands, you're limited.
I know. What else am I gonna do? Just sit on the beach.
100% Jamaica?
No, he's from Grenada, so we're gonna go to Grenada.
Dope.
Yeah, his parents are like, so excited for us to go.
That will be sick. Get out of the winter weather a little bit.
Right. I'm excited too. I made a whole itinerary of like everything I want to do, so I'm very excited.
You're one of those, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Vacation planner. Okay, I rate it. Do you guys ever anticipate working together in terms of like a Chimmy real estate video or something? I know Nate does the documentaries. Like, I think that would be kind of crazy.
Definitely. I think we talk about maybe like creating a more cinematic video. I know he's not interested in doing like these real estate videos, and I don't blame him. It is a little bit boring. And you know, there's people that are like a lot better than him at that stuff. He'll leave that to them. Right. He's good at like very cinematic, very docu style, like very storytelling. So, yeah, maybe one day.
Yo, a Chimmy real estate documentary directed by Nate and Phil. Nate, that sounds crazy.
That would be really, really cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah. It'll be like selling Toronto.
Selling Toronto, yo. Yeah. We're going to write it. We're going to write Selling
All right,
Toronto. Deal. Nodding in the background over here. Love that. So, yo, I really appreciate your time. I just wanted to give you an open forum. Is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to talk about? Floor is yours.
Let me think. Yeah, if you're interested in getting into the market as a first-time home buyer, like definitely hit me up. Even if you feel like you're not ready yet, like it's good to know the first steps and like get into the motion of everything, because it's gonna take time, especially in our market. If it's gonna take time, but you'll get there. I feel like it's so disappointing when people say like, "Oh, never own a home," but you will. Like you will own a home. Yeah.
I love that. That's motivation, man. It's true. Like if you want to, you can. It takes steps and work, but
Yeah,
it is
for
possible.
sure.
That's real. Would that be your biggest advice?
Yes, don't give up. Like they did a poll and like so many people, I forgot the percentage, but it was a huge percentage, said that like they feel like they've given up on that dream, you know, of like being a homeowner. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like no, like don't do that. Like you can't let all these investors buy up everything.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Do you think prices could drop drastically, or do you think it would just do kind of what it's been doing?
I don't see a drastic drop. Like unless like something crazy happens, like another pandemic, like I don't see a drastic drop. Like I think, and like it would like impact the economy like really badly, I think. So I don't think that's what they're trying to do. Like they increased the interest rate so much, and like the prices have been coming down, but even not drastically, right? Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see slightly lower prices maybe, but they've been saying like even in the new year, potentially next summer, they might wanna bring down the interest rate a little bit again. I think we're gonna see it sit at like right now it's like prime rate is 7.2, and we might see it sit at like 4 or 5, around that, 3, 4, 5.
That would be good.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go back down to like 1-2%, but like 3, 4, 5, I think it's probably likely possible.
That would be good. Because you touched on an interesting point there too, where the economy is so tied in with real estate in Canada. Like we talk about, oh man, I wish, like, I wish something drastic would happen. I get that, but also we'd be fucked. At the country, you know? Like give or take.
Imagine like right now, like how many jobs are already impacted, right? So like if something like drastic happens, yes, you get cheaper real estate, but is it really worth the cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How do the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. You can also email me. And you can also hit me up. Just call me. Give me a call.
Dope. Yeah. What's your IG? We'll put it up on the screen.
My IG is chimmy.therealtor. Email is chimmy.realtor@gmail.com. And phone number is 647-783-0229.
You're definitely the first person to give out the phone number on the interview. I rate that.
It's because I'm like, I feel like the whole world has my phone number. Like, at the end of the day, I'm like,
True.
That's how people are going to contact me, right?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yo, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
The Realtor, real one. Appreciate you. Go buy a house from her. She's going to help you out big time. Shout out Phil and Nate in the background. Really appreciate it. Versatile Vigilante. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it, man. Let's go buy a house.